Thank you, Priyank. I welcome all the panelists and all the people for this effect of pandemic on employee well-being and working style. My name is Ajay Solanki. I have been an agile coach. I have around 20 years of work experience. I work for companies like Bank of America, Merrill Lynch, Hewlett Packard, and Oracle, to name a few. I have been associated with this ANI chapter for almost around 2 years now, I believe. And I've also been involved as an active, involved as a speaker, organizing committee member, a review committee member in various agile gatherings in India and abroad. My passion is I love martial arts. I'm currently practicing Tai Chi. I love NLP, healing, and I'm currently doing Qigong meditations, a trainer's course. And I love to work with healing modalities. The most important thing is I love spending time with my two kids, the 8-year-old boy who is a very good painter, and a 13-year-old son, again, who is a good drummer. So that's about myself. I would request Anuradha to introduce herself.
Thanks, Ajay. Good morning to all of you. I don't want to really talk much about myself. Everybody's really industry veteran out here. Only couple of things. I'm really passionate about Agile and Agile as a mindset. So that's where we grow together. We live as a community. So I call myself as actually a people lover, and that is where I try to really invest in people, try to take what best they can deliver. So today I think this is another forum where we are trying to really listen to each other and learn something better. I love painting these days, so this is new hobby that I have discovered, and yeah, I do enjoy listening to music. And Ajay, I need to be more careful. I didn't know about your skills on martial art, huh? So a lot of hidden talents are also being discovered. Yeah, thanks, thanks to actually giving a night for this opportunity.
Yeah, hi.
Mr. Birania.
Yeah, hi, everyone. Yeah, basically, I'm a veteran from BFSI industry, and I'm good at implementation of core banking, retail banking, or wholesale banking implementation. And currently, I'm working with Intellect Design Arena. And on personal front, I enjoy workouts, I run marathons, and I enjoy being a volunteer also, participating in this kind of events. So this is all about me. You can learn more about me on my LinkedIn profile or my website, virenparek.com. Thank you, everyone.
Nimi.
Hi, good morning.
You're on mute, Nimi.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah. Loud and clear.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, good morning, everybody. I think I'm the youngest on the panel and not an industry veteran by any chance, but yet I'm really glad to be a part of this panel discussion. I'm currently working as a vice president for risk management practice in Marsh India Insurance Brokers. And my role is particularly in client management and retention and new business development areas. I've been in the GI industry, the general insurance industry, for about 9 years now. And personally, as a hobby, I used to write a lot earlier, but I think recently, because of the work, I had forgotten it. But now this lockdown and some hobby needed to be developed, so I've again inculcated my interest in writing. So that's what I'm enjoying these days, and I like traveling too. Thank you.
Satish.
Yeah. Good morning to all. Thank you, Ajay, and also any teams. I'm having around 28 years of experience on the program and projects management. I work various companies like L&T, GE, L&T Infotech, Thyssen Group. Presently, I'm working as a senior general manager in Reliance. And my personal front, I like the astrophotography. I visited various locations in India to capture these events like total solar eclipse or annular solar eclipse. And I really I am having telescope. I do even sky observations, and it is my passions. Apart from that, means like Ajay said, I am also having the NLP and Reiki and all those stuffs. I had also doing the practice is NLP, and I like to interact with people, mostly the young talent members who are actually very passionate. They are having a very good energy level, and I wanted to be part to be that team. So I learn lot many things from them also, and I like to mentor them all. Thank you.
Shantanu?
Yeah, hello, this is Shantanu. Yeah, just to start with, right? It's very good to be part of young people. Age is just a number. I think Satish is the youngest, I believe. Okay, so being there more than 24 years in industry in IT perspective, and 15 years in CGI, where company I work in right now as a director consulting expert. So where my expertise is predominantly on the agile side of it. I currently work on the portfolio management part of it. So transforming the portfolios in lean way. So that's a passion as well for me. So moved away from the change from bottom up. Been part of large accounts in Europe, which I was managing as an P&L responsibility earlier, and I shifted into the my passion basically. So that's what I did, and I love music. I love music. I sing. So if you're there on Star Makers, find me there. Chant the Musical is the one where you will find 300 plus songs. I like singing and passionate about this. I'm really thankful to ANI. Being part of this is really an honor and really privileged to be part of this panel member. Looking forward for the conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's amazing to know what different people are doing. It's really nice to see such a variety of people and variety of passions. Now we start with our discussion. With the pandemic disrupting and playing havoc on employees' economic, mental, physical health, let's try to understand the effects of pandemic on employees' well-being and the working style. So the first question would be, what were the potential risks, maybe professional or personal, short-term or long-term, from the lockdown? And what are the emergent practices that are used by the employees and the companies to mitigate the risk? Viren, could you let us know about your views?
Sure. Thanks, Ajay. Yeah. So with this pandemic, I think there are clearly two kind of risks which are there: professional and personal. So on personal front, I'll say that there are certain challenges which companies are worried about, primarily like data security, or I'd say the confidentiality. Clients' data or clients' conversation, etc., is of prime importance to any companies, and hence they are really worried about this. This is one of the, I think, primary most prominent concerns which companies have. So I'll say that companies are employing maybe a couple of strategies to mitigate this particular issue. One is that certain companies, I'll say that our company has got contracts signed by employee, ensuring that now when they are working from home, they have to ensure the data confidentiality, and whatever data is there should not be shared. Any document should not be shared with anyone, or should not be printed and kept it for a long time. It should be destroyed. So that is one practice which companies employ. And second is that now, since all of them are working from home and on laptop, so companies have ensured that the laptops are totally secured. You cannot actually visit some of the suspicious, malicious sites. You cannot copy the data out of laptop. Cannot upload it. So those kind of practices has been clearly employed by the companies to mitigate the risk. So it's more or less standard one, but yeah, I mean contractual agreement over and above your actually employee agreement which is there, that has been particularly employed at our company. And obviously on the personal front, yeah, I mean there is because you're working from home, some people are working all alone, like bachelors. So there are kind of depression issues, or because of lack of physical activity, whatever weight gains, behavioral issues are there. So those are being mitigated by having daily stand-up calls with the teams, maybe sometimes twice a day, them engaged. HR is organizing some of the well-being events online. This helps employee, to keep them engaged, and we are encouraging learning, etc. So that yeah. So that's all, Ajay, from my side. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, you are right that data is the most valuable thing in the current times, and protecting it is very important. Satish, can we have your views, please?
Yeah.
Satish, you're, yeah.
Thank you, Ajay. As rightly Biren has said, that security is very important from company point of view. And yes, almost all the company has taken the proper care about that, like laptops, then endpoint connections. Like many people are having the laptop, but people who are not having laptops, they can use their own devices. That is also another option. And for that, VPN connection or Citrix, those technology has been used by various people. Also like the in these challenges, yes, risk is there, but at the same time attitude is very important. All the positive attitude or the from the company side and the employee side is definitely helping each other, because things are not in our hand and we cannot change those things. So what we can do, that the reaction and the response to those things in our hand, and how we are going to respond, so that is very much essential and important for us. Whenever there are any challenges things, and the positive people always find the solution. And in this pandemic situation also, you might be seen various company who's having that attitude, and from the employee side they are doing the great thing in this pandemic situation also, and they are going to do after that also. But there are people who might be facing some challenges or the issue, who are not having the positive attitude. So always in every condition they might be looking at the things like these things are difficult, it is not possible, or how no, we cannot do anything. But other way around we can do so many things. Yes, we are saying of the social distancing and other thing, but in this during this technology world, actually more people are come closer to each other. Like many people are working from home, they are very much closer to their family members. Normally they are spending lot of time in the traffic, they save lot many things. So whatever like all the negative things are there, that has been vanished during this pandemic. So we can look at this as a one good thing, and looking at this by positive way definitely encourage all the people to work better in this particular scenario. Thank you.
Great idea, Satish. In fact, the positive attitude makes the impossible possible. Over to you, Shantanu. Can we have your views?
Yeah. So, okay. So, very, very good question. Just to start the conversation, I would say, first of all, let's understand what's the lockdown, right? So, basically, physical presence and the interaction with that is missing. And then comes its impact, right? So, impact on two sides of life. One is professional, personal that you talked about. On professional side, I think as a company, what we had, every company has got stakeholders. So we have got three main stakeholders. Start from client, members. We call, by the way, employees as a members in CGI, and stakeholders in a shareholder manner, right? So client will look for continuity while we support them as a partner in their respective business, and that's the impact on to their businesses as well across industry verticals. Members will look for delivering the value, right? That will get impacted. Team focus on the interactions while working on the clients. A lot of agile teams, right? So a lot of teams working together. That's one, and globally and locally as well. And the shareholders will look more from the business to continue with the success as they invest into your business, right? So those are the three major kind of impacts if you look at it. So we had in CGI, we had this 3R strategy: respond, rebound, and reinvent. I'll just in a short, I'll talk about it. The respond is more of a immediate operation need. So what is immediate comes in. Rebound is more of a tactical challenges associated with emerging from the crisis phase and how we can address that. And reinvent is to adapt to operating models, adapt to new operating models, new ways of doing business with the clients. So that's what we thought about. So our response was first client communication, impeccable client communication in terms of getting to them to know that, okay, we are there and we're working on it. So everyday communication happening from the leaders and all the levels of the leadership. From continuity perspective, I'll not talk about security because that is already covered by fellow panelists. But we did, there are some client networks we connect with, and that's a bigger impact, trust me. And most of you who are listening in and the panel members also must have gone through this, right? So what we did is we added, the connectivity is only from office. So we added some new laptops which are available and did extra hardening for it and provided them, home delivered them to the clients, right? On a personal and basic need is again one of the key challenge, right? In this situation, right information reaching to you is most important as a member or an employee in general. So providing accurate and clear information or communication on what is happening around about COVID, right? Because there are a lot of rumors and all this stuff goes in. So supporting that communication need in a chaotic moment so as to address fear and anxiety of members. So we address that, created webinars, content for oriented member on a return to work guidelines as well in COVID pandemic. So we started talking about it already. Created FAQ document, right? A frequently asked question on COVID related concerns of the members so as to provide them the most authentic information. And one more thing which we did, oriented members on back to work guidelines through multiple live webinars and sessions as the government started unlockdown process as well. So what we try to do is we try to look at the overall perspective, not only covering their information related aspect or their communication related to the client or what's happening around. So we covered the all 360 view on this, addressing this challenge. Yeah. Thank you.
That was a great mantra: rebound, respond, rebound, and reinvent. I think that'll work throughout for all the times to come.
Yeah, we call it as 3R.
Yeah, 3 hours. And the great initiative of sharing the right information. Today, everywhere we have information, we don't know what to do about it, which one is right or wrong. So great, thank you. Nimi, can we have your views, please?
So I think, most has been covered by the other panelists, and my thoughts really resonate with all of them. I just think, on the personal front, so we are dividing it into two buckets, which is personal and professional. So I think on the personal front, the risks and the challenges were very different because all of a sudden it was a complete chaos. And, we were hearing things like the medical facilities are not up to the mark to, handle so many cases. And as a country, we were not really ready. So I think that sense of panic was really there in people. So that was one of the major challenges that I think as a community we had to overcome. And secondly, people who have young children or aging members in the family, for them it was more challenging because there was all the news about how elder members are not being able to sustain this kind of the virus that is there, and how small children are being the carriers of the virus. They might be asymptomatic and they might be carriers. So there was a lot of news around but there was no clarity. So the chaos was really causing the challenge. Secondly, I think on the professional front, I think there were a lot of challenges, but companies, for example, like mine, were very well prepared in advance to handle the situation because, say, for example, laptops. Everybody has laptops. Everybody has access to a VPN network, and we have work from home facilities even from before. Not really work from home, but work from anywhere kind of facilities, wherever we are on the go. So I think the company was prepared. The certain kind of benefits that were extended to us to be extra over prepared for this was, having access to things like not using a cab for traveling or booking a full day taxi cab. So those kind of preventive measures were being taken, not going to clients' premises unless and until it was very necessary. And these were the steps taken even before the lockdown began. Once the lockdown began, obviously, we were not moving around, but even before that, the company showed a lot of prudent measures in protecting the employees. Now, another thing was that because we are in the insurance business, we had a lot of questions, a lot of uncertainties that was prevailing in the mind of our clients, and we needed to address those, even though we were not really prepared at that point in time because this was new to us also. It was a 1 in a 100-year event after all. Yet, like Shantanu was mentioning, that we had a lot of webinars, and we were taking information from our insurer partners. We were trying to exchange information from one industry to the other, one client to the other, so that everybody can be on the same page and try to move ahead from that challenge. So I think, more number of team calls, more number of client calls. I think that really helped us move ahead.
Thank you to highlight the personal risk, and good to know that your company was fully prepared for any kind of emergencies. Anuradha, can we have your views, please?
Yeah, while most of it has been covered by my fellow panelists, just a couple of points to add from my side. So our organization actually went ahead and took some additional steps. So our HR partner actually invested in having medical facilities like ambulance, or even how do we help people who are home quarantined, having them doctor facilities available. So what could we really help on immediate basis, so that anxiety and actual on the ground, how can we really help the families who are going through COVID situation. So that's something that was immediately acted upon, and that gave us as an employee, I can tell you, that gave us a lot of mental peace to us, saying that okay, in this situation, if at all there is nobody who can really help you, yes, I can go back and take their help, and I can seek some medical facility whenever it is required. So it came in actually as a big way, as a help to us. Second, I feel that okay, risk is one part of it, but we also try to explore it more as an opportunity, because the moment social distancing got kicked off, it also gave an avenue to really come more closer because of collaboration tools, and that we realized as a potential to drive some of the things. So one part was actually a risk part, which was more on employee well-being, as well as business continuity was at most important. But the other aspect was to look at opportunities and how best we can utilize it. So we evaluated that, and what all can happen in virtual, what is the best way, what could be different facilitation techniques. So we invested in that to really make it work. So I think that's something that I wanted to add to it.
A great viewpoint about the taking care of the medical emergency just in case they arise, and using the collaboration tools. I think these are going to be there for a long way to stay. Now, in general, how has the pandemic affected the working style and the productivities of employees? Do you think it's gone up, gone down, you putting more hours? Nimi, can we have your views, please?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. So let me begin by saying that it's going to be very personal for everybody, because depending on the demographics, depending on the kind of family situation you are in, you're completely going to feel a different sense of working style and sense of productivity that you're going to give as an outcome. Now, also to not to forget that the economy has gone through a turmoil at this point in time. So there are job cuts and things like that in place. There are salary cuts. So people are wanting to perform at their best possible productivity levels, so that they do not fall in such a light in it. I'm just generally talking about the entire working population. So I think there is also a certain pressure on the productivity. Now let me move on to the point where we're discussing productivity and employee working style. Now everything has moved online, so of course there are certain advantages to it. People have become more flexible, the companies have become more agile, the clients have become more understanding and flexible in terms of how you are going to operate, and depending on your personal situation, you can talk to both the parties, your employers and your colleagues and your clients, that you are going to set this. If I have a small baby, then this is how what is going to be my working hours, and this is how I'm going to be available. So people have become more understanding and more flexible to accept those sort of requests. So one is that. The second thing is, I think people in cities like metro cities like Bombay travel more than 2 hours to get to work, and to and fro from work. So I think, and especially in roles like mine, we spend a lot of time in going to meetings, and going to meeting our clients and our vendors. So I think all in all, if we are able to save all of that commute time, we're able to invest that time in some other place which might be fruitful for us, like in a hobby or in a, in meditation or in exercise or in just spending time with our families, right? So that's really added to the time value. And the third thing is, I think people have become more time conscious, how to utilize their time well, and how to plan your day and not to waste, the time that we're getting. So I think that might be even a forced situation because people don't have option, but yet it is a result any which way. And then I think in terms of resources and energy, I think all that traveling and there were certain international trips or certain domestic trips which were made, which actually now save time because you can do it over a Zoom call, and yet be effective in that, which earlier we thought that we might not be able to close a deal, or may not be able to access complete information if we are not physically present there, but we are doing it now and doing it pretty well. So I think these certain things which have added. But I would just like to add that in the end of all of this level of productivity, it might be a forced or out of fear also. So somewhere we have to be conscious that this cannot be an ongoing thing, as it might lead to a lot of burning down of people, and mentally and physically. So because everybody is not working in the same way, and everybody does not have a similar working atmosphere at their homes, so we need to be conscious of that going ahead. That's it from me. Thank you.
Great points. We have high pressure, high productivity, but we can sustain them for a long time. That is also true. And the best thing to do is have working agreements in place so that you have time for yourself. Anuradha, can we have your views on this, please?
Yeah, so working style has been changed a lot. However, I see that people have become more adaptable to each other. So the concept of family has extended to even family of teams, because we have to adjust to their home working patterns as well. So I would say that there is a lot of human factor that is coming in, and me being agilist, actually, keep trying talk about agile values and this, and I actually see that in action without really talking about it explicitly. So there is a lot of trust that I see which is flowing in, and collaboration has definitely enabled it as well. And I would say that I see a lot of focus coming in on the work. I wouldn't say that the fear could be one of them, but what we have actually experienced, it is a zeal that, okay, we really have to fight it out. And I feel that our leadership has done a great job to really inculcate that, so that, okay, together we have to deliver this. So that kind of atmosphere has really helped us to really fight it out, and we see more productivity coming into play. Uh, so one aspect is maybe because people are putting in more number of hours, but second is this focus, and then together we have to fight it out kind of a spirit. So that has really helped us a lot. On personal front, I would say that the working style is really changed, and because a lot of support has gone down, so it has helped us everyone to value each other more. So we are more conscious when we are working and when we are demanding someone's time. So there are positives which are also coming out of it. Yeah, that's from my end.
Yeah, great points, Anuradha. Satish, can we have your views?
Yeah, thank you, Ajay. Yes, as everyone says, in this particular pandemic, like everyone working style has been changed, and it is a person to person. Yes, a different environment, different situation, different locations. So many things are in here. When we are working in the office, once we go to the office, then till the evening, morning to evening, we are in the office, and we don't have any other botheration. But when we are working from home, we have to also look after the home. Then we have to also consider our family members, their time. So many things here. And also there might be few worries about the pandemic situation and other thing. So in this particular situation, company is also taking very much care for the employee, that employee, once they are working from the home, they don't have to worry about much things. So company is providing all the like medical facilities kind of thing, so a employee don't have to take that particular attention. There are various video conferencing has been arranged with the doctors for the employment, so that help is there. even not only themselves, but with for their family members, and even extended family members, companies providing the help. So that is you can say a lot of positive thing, and positive support from the company side to the employees. So employees are fully concentrated on their work. And also in this particular pandemic situation, leadership role, even their managers, leads, those are very important, because regular communications, meeting with the team members, and not only work related but sometime off work kind of things, stuffs, that kind of things also is helping people to concentrate on their work, and that is really helping. So though they are away from the office, they are not feeling that they are away from the office because of this technology, video conferencings, even audio calls, and so many things they are doing. Also they are saving lot of time, travel time is almost 2 to 3 hours to and fro. People who are coming, means who are going to Mumbai side, so a lot of traffic there, so they are saving those things. So those things they can also use it in the learning. And also they can have the proper schedule, like had prepared, get up early morning, do exercise, and do it passionately and regularly. There should be consistency. So in the long run, means now like it is more than 100 days, so we can see the benefits, like everyone you see might be reducing some weight, and it is good for their health. So all such things are happening at the employees level. And also meditation, those things are helping people to keep their positive attitude. And in this entire scenario, people or employees, they are helping themselves also, along with the family members. Thank you.
Thanks. So we generally see that the companies and the leaders are extending themselves to employees in whatever way they can, and obviously the time saved they are using it for increased productivity. Can we have your thoughts, Biren?
Yeah, hi. Yeah, Jay, sure. I think most of points are covered. Only 2 points I'd like to make is one is that overall it has been noticed that 20% productivity is up now overall company wide. So that is one data point. And second is that in some cases, I say maybe 10% of employees are facing some issues in terms of connectivity, power cuts, or maybe lack of private space for doing their work. So over there, I mean, 10% of employees are facing this kind of issues. But overall, I'll say that 20% productivity is up, primarily because there are no other avenues of entertainment, like people going out for whatever, shopping or movies or whatever, socializing. So that is primary. But this may not be true maybe going forward once the pandemic ends, because then all socializing and all the entertainment avenues will open, right? So, I mean, for short term, it's okay. Long term, this will not. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, great. So we see that almost all the panelists say that they have been increasing the productivity by some percent. And the thing is to see how long we can sustain the increase in productivity. Shantanu, what are you use, please?
Yeah, I mean, in addition to what my fellow panelists talked about, right? So the impact is there, right? So on the productivity, it has gone up in a positive way, but and the working style has changed. Right? So we in CGI we started, and our leaders actually took a large initiative there. They started a movement called hashtag in this together, and we used to push our videos there, right? So what they're doing, how they're doing it, and all this stuff. So right, it was really nice, and they encouraged other leaders also to do, other members also to do that, right? So impact on a continuous meeting, right, make you very mechanical in a way, right? So of course productivity is up. Look at the other side of it. So I'll cover that part of it. So what we said is, with general guidance we have given that, okay, 5 minutes in the beginning and 5 minutes before end of the meeting, just have a social conversation, talk something else. Even though it is a global call, we try to give that kind of a guidance, talking about well-being, how is the area is doing, how is the spread, what is the impact coming to you, all those aspects. So it makes more natural conversations, right? Second thing is, on the daily routine there was an impact again. We said okay, because as everyone talked about, productivity has gone up, right? So we said okay, book for some kind of, and we don't do this because in Western countries we do have they book for personal meetings or lunches or any activity they do personally. They book in the calendar. So what we did is we started guiding our teams, like, okay, book lunchtime as well as any other personal activity that you want to do, right? Because there is a lot of other work that you are carrying over in the work at home, right? So there is a division of work happens at the personal side, right? So I think these guidances, Eric, created a positive impact on working style, I would say. It made them a little easier, I must say, right? So those are a few pointers on this subject, on this question. Thank you.
Great view, Shantanu. I think blocking personal time is very important in today's high pressure activities. So the next question I would have is, how did you turn this high stress into a family bonding kind of? Because, yeah, I mean, people can get irritated your whole day, but still you're not responding. That you are around, kids are playing there, have your headphones and your calls on, and say, shh, wait for some time. And so, how did you actually turn the stress into a family bonding? I would request Anuradha to share her views.
Yeah, thanks, Ajay. Actually, I took this as an opportunity because all along these years, I used to crave for time. I want to spend more time with my family, my boys, my husband, because all of us were always hooked onto our individual tasks. So this really gave me an opportunity, and I have two young adults at home, so I do not face the challenges of kids being crying, etc. So which came actually, and both of them really turned out to be a big support system to me, and we really decided to have cooking together, cleaning together, and that become really a, I would say that a fun part of it, because my boys trying out different dishes, or husband trying to give a new recipe, etc., turned out to be a bonding time, I would say. So overall, it has really helped all of us to come together as a family. With elderly, there were certain irritations to in the earlier part of it, because that anxiety to cope up with that. But again, I would say that elders also. So I stay with my in-laws. They are also happy that we are all the time around, and so their safety can be immediately taken care of. So we have emerged as a stronger family, and I would say that I'm enjoying this phase. So this is one of the positive part of this pandemic, in terms of creating this bonding. And just extending to this, it's not just my family, but I have been part of families of my team members as well, because as Shantanu was saying that we have 5 minutes before after, we do practice that. And then because I work in my role is more of connecting with different communities to create agile capabilities, etc. I work with different countries, different cultures, etc. So this has actually helped me to be part of their families in terms of understanding how they work as a family, and the challenges that they have, and the support system. Then I realized the support system, I really keep cribbing upon, oh, now they are nomads. These guys are actually living without that since years together, and happily managing their work. So that was another kind of introspection into, okay, how can I do it without really cribbing what I do not have? So yes, I look at it really as an opportunity, and I'm enjoying family time with my boys and the members.
Thanks, that's great insight. So now you have a global family with your colleagues and everybody's family grouping together.
Yes.
Nimi, can you share your views? How was it for you?
Okay, so let me start by sharing a little about my family. So my family consists here in Mumbai. It consists of my husband and my 2-year-old daughter. She's just turned 2 last month. So we had very, very challenging times, of course, because the daycare center has shut down, and maids are obviously a scarcity now, and not allowed in the society. So we have to manage work. I am in the busiest season of my work in March, April. So yes, it all came down pretty hard on us. But however, we try to understand each other. I think we, as husband and wife, you never really get into your work zones. But now we were into each other's work zones, and we actually knew how much work both of us had. So we were able to kind of empathize with each other, and share the load, and kind of switch places whenever the time required it so, and we sort of managed to share the workload plus share the baby load and move ahead with that, understanding that this situation is going to be there for a while, and we have to do what it takes. And I think, yeah, I think more on the lines of what Anuradha mentioned, that the workplaces have become more flexible and they allow for you to be on calls with your children. So even if my daughter walks in on a call, it was understandable and acceptable to all. So I think somewhere, that human quotient of people coming up has really helped in dealing with the circumstance. So yeah, it's been great. And given that my husband used to never see my daughter, because he'd be back home by 9:30, and she would already be out, and in the morning she would leave with me at 8 o'clock for her daycare. So I think he has seen her grow up for the past 6 months at home. So that's like a plus one. So.
Thanks to highlight the situation of the role reversal, where the spouses are interchanging the roles of each other, and the kids also getting actively involved in everything, which has increased to bonding and the understanding between the family. Shantanu, how was the journey for you?
Yeah, interesting question this is, right? So as Nimi suggested, right, I've shared. I'm a part of two daughter club. So I've got two daughters. One of them is 6 year old, and she was got into a tap, and all of a sudden it stopped working for some reason. I was in a meeting, and I still remember that incident, right? So what happened is she just comes around and she knows the person basically who is from Europe. She is uncle. I'll not tell the name for privacy reasons, but said, uncle, can you please leave dad for 5 minutes? I just want to fix my laptop. And he is the only one who can fix it, right? So and it was really, I mean, as everyone is there, right, in this together. So he really helped her. I mean, I said, okay, give me 2 minutes. I fixed her and came back, and she came back again. She said, thank you so much, right? So that's what a real thing happens, right? So the stress is there, but then helping each other, right? So many a times, as I mentioned, right? So playing games together or participating to activities, right? So playing games, of course, binge watching was always there on the weekends. Doing drawings or something, or creating an activities, or listening to the stories of your toddlers or elder daughters also, or elder sons. I think that helps a lot. That's my personal way. As I said, I'm passionate about music. So one of the nights we had just, or evenings, we just spent all of us singing karaoke songs. So that helped a lot of, in a lot of way to reduce the stress in a way, right? So those are activities I think I would suggest you to go through, and it's okay to be, it's okay to get disturbed actually. In this pandemic, everyone understands, trust me, across the globe, by the way. So it is not necessary to be a very formal setup, and you have to be really focusing. Of course, everyone is matured in industry. They do understand. Right. Thank you.
Thank you, Shantanu. That was so cute of you sharing it. I mean, it's wonderful listening to it. Satish, can we have your experiences, please?
Yeah, Ajay, thanks for this. Uh, as everyone has, I am also having one daughter and one son, and son is in 10th standard, and daughter she is in SY BSc. So both children are busy in their study part because they are also having their live classes, and I'm also having my office. But what is happening? Physically, we are at home, so we are getting chance to eat breakfast together, do lunch, and the dinner, all the three. Otherwise, it was only the dinner which we were doing together. And also yes, collaboration within the family members, sharing and caring, these things are really helping each one of us, because everyone is understanding that how this other person, because now everyone is at home, so wife cannot say that what you are doing in the office whole day, I am at home, or husband cannot tell wife that you are at home, what is means so thing. So now everyone is understanding each other, that how they are busy the full day on the laptop, computer, sitting in one position. So they are also realizing those things. And similarly, as a men, we are also know that yes, how much work is there in the house in the entire day, and busy. So I had also spent some time Saturday, Sunday in the kitchen, which was not there earlier. Even my daughter, she is preparing some nice dishes like cakes and other things. She is trying new thing, and we are testing. So it is really fun kind of thing having together in this pandemic. And yes, day by day, this bond and closeness within the family members is increasing. So that is my experience. Thank you.
Thanks. So it was always known that the family that eats together stays together.
Yes.
Nice to bring out that point. And we are also the spouses. They know that you can survive without the secretaries. They know how hard you are working, actually 24/7. And also nice to know that you're getting new skills of cooking and things like that. Viren, can we have your views, please?
Sure, Ajay. So I have two kids. My daughter is in third year engineering, and my son is in 10th standard. So more or less, both of them are busy for the full day in their online classes. But I say that this lockdown helped us not to bond much stronger, much better compared to maybe other days. So I normally watch a lot of shows with my daughter. She's actually a fan of all kind of shows. So that is one thing. Daily we are watching recommended shows on the late night and watching movies also together. So that is one thing. And with the son also, I mean, my bonding has increased a lot. Because earlier he was close to his mother, but now with me around, he's enjoying my company. And during my breaks or their breaks, we used to chit chat and used to play something. So yes, it has really helped to strengthen our bond. And, apart from that, I have picked up some skills and like making some sweets. Like Magaj Kaladu has become my sort of a trademark petition. My son really loves it. So these are the some of the things that has helped us bond well. Yeah.
Oh, great. So probably on the lighter side, मगज ज्यादा खा रहा है इसलिए मगज का लड्डू बना दिया. Great innovation. Thank you. And thanks for sharing that you're actually spending time watching the movies together. Because I also spent a lot of time with my elder one that time, watching Star Wars and Dennis the Menace. And now with the younger one, it is like just add magic and watching the serial Mahadev. So great. The next question I would like to ask is, how are the companies taking care of the physical, mental wellness of the employees to maintain that people are not stressed out and having suicidal tendencies and, things like that? I would request Shantanu to share his views, please.
Yeah, so I think very good question actually. That's what is everyone's responsibility as a leadership, right? So everyone had a gyms and all this stuff in most of the companies, organization, like everyone, right? So I think we have evolved with our wellness initiative in our company. So we have got a initiatives run in the initiative called as Oxygen, right? Which is one of, and there is a leader for it, right? At a global level, at APAC level in CGI. The name is Anjali Prasad. And see, we this under Oxygen, we ran a lot of initiatives like introducing webinars to help members to boost their immunity, well-being. There was videos or webinars on exercises, yoga, right? I'm talking about first physical, were well in support to the members under Oxygen. Then there were sessions on healthy eating, weight management during COVID times. So these were all available. There were videos and sessions, live sessions, and as well, they were recording videos as well. Then there were sessions on the ergonomics on preventing neck and back pain because you're continuously sitting in one posture. You must have observed how I was moving because that is something which I got it from there because you cannot be still, right? I know you're informal this one, but you cannot be like stiff, right? It is not good actually, right? So that's why I was moving. Sorry for that movement. It distracts a bit sometimes. So that is on the physical side of it. On the mental health side, right? So we had there was a we have to deal with a challenge on mental health, right? To be honest, we had programs created we called as a MAP, right? So member assistant program, right, which is again under Oxygen. But newsletters, we have got mindfulness related newsletters and the sessions. The new ways of parenting, because that becomes in this time, the parenting is also, it evolves, right? It gives you different challenges. Uh, Dealing with elephant in the room kind of a seminar, then stress management during COVID, what we can do, building resilience in certain times, relaxation, asanas, that's what we did. One unique thing I believe, uh, which I like the most, was creating a mental health ambassador. We call them as a MHA. So around across all the geographies that we work, we have there were voluntary, what I would say, nomination for this, coming from all the locations that we have. And these guys, they are not necessarily leaders, but coming from every channel, right? And they were in touch with their teams. Not necessarily it has to be team lead, not necessarily it has to be a manager, or it has to be scrum master, or whatever you call it as, or not necessarily that way. It was not hierarchical. It was touching, because what happens is when you create such initiatives, the impact is far to be seen, because it is top down and it doesn't work. So we evolved with this, and these mental health ambassadors were reaching out to the members, right? What is this ambassador? Is someone who wants to promote good mental health, someone willing to stand up and talk about it, and someone willing to be there when someone needs to talk. Now, not necessarily everyone is comfortable talking to everyone, right? And that's what we did. And we particularly mentioned that mental health, they ambassadors are not mental health professionals. They are just normal human beings. They may not be an expert, that's fine, right? Someone who will provide, they'll not someone who will provide you the treatment. And that's why we said, okay, this role will provide members with a friendly face to talk to, being aware on what sources of support are available and what is required for them, and being kind of a role model as a friend, right? Encouraging members to talk about their mental health also. So at the APAC level, this MHA ambassador or group, which we had almost 100 plus people were are trained, and they're working across actually apart from their work, right? So it's a kind of CS. Something which I at the last I would like to cover on the women members, right? Very key aspect of it, right? I mean, and we have got these two ladies, beautiful ladies in this panelist also, and I really respect them. So there is a special attention required, because usually women pushes themselves too hard to take care of their families and work commitment. Somehow they manage it. Hence, it becomes very important to us to take care of mental health of women, right? And that's what it affects everyone in the family, because the moment woman gets impacted, it goes across, right? So it is important to encourage them also. So MHA and member assistant program work together. There are two beautiful programs on the Oxygen, which we provided counselors online, peers too. This is specifically for women, right? Because to deal with their physical and mental, stresses, apart from the virtual sessions, we run on the well-being, right? And just to name a few, and I'll close this. Sorry for a little longish, but really, really important. This is for women. So women's wellness in lockdown, that kind of session, then stroke, headache, migraine, because women has gone through bladder health related sessions and health awareness sessions also for women, which were specifically designed to address the COVID related aspects of it. Sorry for it being a little longish, but I thought of covering this, and this is really important for all of us to know.
You're great for sharing your oxygen with the team, and it's good to know that people are doing yoga and stuff. And talking really helps, whether you talk to your people, friends, dogs, trees, but talk to someone. Thank you. Nimi, can we have your views, please?
So Shantanu has already shared a lot of initiatives and very similar initiatives, I would say, that my company has taken and is continuing to take. So just to let you know that because we are into the insurance business and in the wellness space, we do a lot of work for our clients any which way, even before the pandemic. So the HR already, from time to time has very good practices for employee mental and physical wellness, which is on an ongoing basis. So obviously, because of this new situation, the company did go one step ahead and took certain initiatives which were more required in this time. Initiatives very similar to on mental health, where we could talk to a counselor if we are facing some trouble, or if we want to just share anonymously with somebody, and we don't have somebody to talk to, we can talk to the counselor. We had similar yoga sessions which were there for people. Then there were some learning and upskilling sessions. If at times people are feeling that they are feeling they are low on workload, or they are having some time on their hand, and they feel that how do I add value to myself. Sometimes what happens is, when you're like cut out from the world, you feel that how do you add more to yourself? You're not meeting anybody, you're not seeing people. So for that, there are constant upskilling sessions that have been introduced, and constant learning is being encouraged in the company. Then open communication. The company has really gone ahead with this open communication, wherein we are having very frequent town halls. So earlier the town halls would happen like once in a month or once in a quarter. Now we are having every fortnightly town hall sessions, the MD is holding. Similarly, we have Friday casual calls. So the entire team gets together, all the senior members and the junior members of the team get together, and we share on an open forum. We share whatever we want to, or we play games. So it's a very light session. Similarly, the company has also taken care of your ergonomical health. How you're going to be seated at home. Are you hurting your back sitting on a bed? Do you have proper infrastructure? So a proper survey was done in order to come to a conclusion as to whether people require anything, any support, infrastructural support at home. With this in mind, the people who opted for infrastructure help, chairs were provided by the company. The proper office chairs were provided to each employee that asked for it, and was delivered to it was delivered by the company to their houses. So I think that goes out to say that how much the company is invested in the well-being of their employees. Also, like, allowances were made towards things like internet usage and all of that, because now we are working from home, so we are all using our own infrastructure, our own internets, and so what about those expenses? So the company was fair enough in sharing that load as well. So I think all in all, physically, mentally, the company has stood by the employees and is trying to make it better, because we all know that it is a challenging situation, even though there's flexibility, even though there is everything nice which is happening, but yet a workplace was a workplace and home is a home. So there are differences which you cannot match. So I think that's it from my side.
Yeah, great to know that a lot of leadership is involved in helping the employees to cover the pandemic effects. And a lot of companies are giving initiatives like broadband allowances and laptop allowances and stuff like that. So,
also, just sorry, just to interrupt you. So there's always been a focus from my company specifically. I don't know about the others, but employees are not taking leaves. So there is a constant reminder which is coming to take leaves, to use your leaves, to not burn out, and also not to take a long leave, like a 1 month leave, or so that you exhaust your leaves. Take small leaves, take breaks. So I think that's something that is very important, and which is being reinforced every now and then by the company.
Yeah, great point that we should have a small break in this current pressure situation. Biren, can we have your views on this, please?
Sure, Jay. I think most of the points are covered by Shantanu and Nimi. Yes, so we also have this frequent town halls and webinars being conducted by external experts on whatever wellness. But apart from that, I'd just like to highlight that now we have this annual day which is just coming up. And this time it is going to be a virtual annual day, or say virtual fest. And for that, our company has decided that it will be conducted over 40 sessions, and that means like there will be 40 theaters has been planned, and each theater will host maybe different kind of cultural activities for associates to demonstrate their skills. So that is one thing which has been planned additionally, apart from whatever initiative which we just mentioned. And this is just to keep associates engaged, and to see that they are involved. They are not just working only, but they are just involved in something else also, which keeps them more happy and more productive. Yeah, so that is all from my side.
Great views. Anuradha, can you share your views?
Yeah, actually, all of you have covered most of the points. So my company Capgemini has been really done a fantastic job in creating hell rather environment for even physical well-being, mental well-being by having all the initiatives that you folks talked about. Based on my community experience, I just want to add a couple of points. I feel that from mental health perspective, it's very important for an individual that your contribution is honored and somebody is listening to you. So what we did is we actually gave platforms to some of the experts, and these are not known experts, I would say, because every company has some known set of experts who typically come forward, and they're probably more extrovert. But really finding out those introverts who are actually having a good knowledge base, but probably shying away. So we actually gave them a platform to come and talk about it. So we arranged a series of webinars where people who were contributing to our initiatives could come forward and host the topics that they are really working on, and that become a kind of very successful. And it actually is helping me in a long way, saying because they feel more confident today, they feel more engaged today, and they feel that okay, they are valued. So while this was done we tried to run this as a global initiative, and this was looked at as a best practice across different communities. So I run Agile community, but other communities also looked at it as a best practice. And then this series of webinars by, I would say that so-called not so known experts, but I would say contributors on the ground, on the field, actually really worked out well. So give importance to an individual who is contributing in his or her way, because that's the way we will be able to sustain. Other initiatives are obviously there, which is taking care of your physical wellness.
Thanks for sharing. So we have great views from all the people here. I would like to share a small tip from myself. This is from Tai Chi. So generally we are sitting the whole day. These are exercise which can benefit the entire body. So if you just join your hands like this, all the fingers touching each other, and you move your little finger, the other finger should not move. Press them right. The little finger represents the kidney. So you do it slowly, then you can do it fast. So if you have any issues with the kidney, then probably you will have to work on your little finger. The second finger represents the liver. You can fold it here, and then you can do it fast. So if you're having some issues with the liver, probably you might have an issue. Yeah, but your other finger should be static. They should not move. The third finger is the heart. So you can go up and down and then move faster, as fast as you can. The next finger is the lungs. You do it here. If you're having problem with your lungs, probably you might not be able to do this very fast. And the last thumb represents the digestion. If you're having acidity or something like that, this could help you clear. And a lot of people who are in my class, they have cured the problems of hyperacidity just by doing this dancing finger exercise. So that's a tip from my side. How many questions do we have? We have around 8 minutes to take the questions.
You're on mute.
Yeah, let me have a look at the questions.
So just to help you with questions,
Yeah.
Ajay, there is one question from Jitendra Kotian. Any specific new tool is being used to prevent data copy and upload? So anyone who want to answer that, some of the inputs on the tool side? Any panelists want to answer that? Can you hear me?
Yes. What new tools are you using to
Prevent the data loss or copy of the data and upload of the data to other channels is one question from Jiten Kotian.
So I'll just add it. It's standard, I think, proxy server or firewall kind of server tool which is being used. I think it's a 40 client which we are using it just to prevent, say, unauthorized access and all those things. Nothing special. It's a standard tool.
Yeah, in our case, I mean, all agile teams and the collaboration happens through MS Teams. So we have an enterprise license for it, right? So you in that MS team and you're on VPN. I mean, you can with MS team you can work without VPN also. But the thing is, it's a corporate account, right? So it's a corporate setup. So even though you're an MS team, you cannot copy paste from MS Teams to outside, right, in an email or something, and vice versa. You cannot do that. And apart from, as Biren talked about, the firewall settings and all this stuff helps. So there is no one tool because it has to be it has to be part of your organization security policy or a strategy that you have from a security perspective. That's how my view is on this. Does that answer that?
Thanks, Shantanu. I think it helps a lot. So the next question for the panelist is from Gaurav Duper. He's asking, do you see a challenge for future mental health of employees due to the remote work and the new ways of working? Let me
Yeah, can I
repeat it.
take that?
Yeah.
Can I take that question?
Yeah,
So, see, I believe it's completely my belief, and I'm not representing my organization's belief here at all. It's my belief that a man is not a machine and is not supposed to stand alone and work all day and then burn out finally. So I believe the workplace is a sanctum, and people get together with similar issues, with similar challenges, and they understand each other, and that's how working in a place where people are like-minded, it really impacts the productivity also. All obviously, and dialogues and everything matters together. Also, the competition that you build with your peers, when you're not with them, the kind of bonding you cannot develop over a Microsoft Teams call or whatever mode of communication we are using. That personal bond is very important, even with a client or a fellow colleague. So I think essentially right now this is the need of the hour, and we are doing the best that we can. But eventually, is this the way to go? I think flexibility is definitely the way to go, so that you can work under your whatever your circumstances. You're either out of office or from home as per your circumstances. But for this to become a mandatory thing, for us to for the companies to feel that there's no need of office now and people can really work from home well, and let's make it a thing, a way to go. I don't think that is sustainable in the long run. I think people need people. Human needs other human to bond and to interact with. So I think that's really the way to go. And also sometimes I feel we are bringing, so now because there's no gap between work and office, so all the stress and all the burden of our competitive self, we bring it home, and we are living with it at home. So somewhere our kids and other members of the family really don't need that pressure on them. So I think somewhere that division has become neutralized as of now. But the impact is something that I think I have seen in other people, and I think that distance or that gap needs to be maintained.
Thanks for sharing that, Nimi. Any other one want to add anything in this question from your perspective?
Yeah, great view.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you want to go, no problem.
Uh,
Go on.
sorry, Shantanu. Satish here. Yes, I think we all are learning and studying agile way, and I think this is a real life agile thing because of these various situations we are facing. So before pandemic, the situation was different. During pandemic, like we change ourselves, and similar way we have to do when things will happen normal. So I don't think that there will be any adverse effect or anything. And as a human being, we are really you can say capable of doing the things and changing ourselves to the outside environment. So the things are happening. We will definitely cope up. Each and everyone has that capability. Only thing is, as I said earlier, also attitude is very important, and all the positive attitude is going to help us to go through these various situations.
Thanks, Satish. I'll add a couple of points there. This is completely my view, looking at this pandemic and lockdowns and working from homes, right? So I think when people come back, right? So when this lockdown is down, eases, and then everyone comes start going to the office, right? One is for sure, which I have observed. Okay, we Indians, basically, an India context perspective, not to offend anyone here, uh, we are people who are very social in terms of interactions and all this stuff. There is still people who do not interact much, even in agile teams. We have seen that often, right? Now, with the communication, virtual community, people have started communicating, which is very different side of the thing, you know. So I'm just guessing that whether that will continue. Just adding to the question, I must say, whether that will continue once we go back to offices, whether that kind of impact right now which you have, the increased level of communication, because without that, right, even though it is virtual communication, right, in-person communication that was not impactful at that point in time from such different part of the people that you work with, right? So maybe that will continue or not. That's something need to be remains to be seen. Second one is when they come back, right? And that's what those coming back to work kind of things need to have. The expectation should be lower in my view, right? So let them get adjusted. Is again you're switching back, right? It's not switch on and switch off as Nimi also added, right? So I think those are the aspects that I have. I do not have much direct answer to this question, but yeah, something to add to the question and also give a perspective there. Thank you.
Thanks, Shantanu. So I'm going to pick up a next question from Rajesh Dadlani, and interesting question. So I'm reading it partially, not the first part of it, but I'm going directly to the question. How has the pandemic affected other stakeholder in non-organized sector? That's the first question. Like tutors, mates, coaches, and what we as individual or corporation, like you as corporation, or maybe you as a company or government have or should have done or are doing for them. There are multiple questions in that. Like the first part is how it is impacting the non-organized sectors, and then what the enterprises and obviously government, uh, actions are very evident, but then enterprise actions, what enterprises are doing, maybe a good question in there, and then what individuals, individually what you are doing is another curiosity rather than a question maybe to influence us.
Yeah, I think many big organizations are helping the society. There is a lot of donation from various companies and also to the government. And now in this particular situations, all the big private sectors are helping government at their as per their capacity and capability. And main thing is the helping others, humanity kind of thing is very important, and that is coming out from each and every one of us.
Fantastic. Thanks for sharing that, Satish. Any other want to add something here?
Yeah, just to add, as you spoke about tutors as well as mates, so they need lot of support. While organizations are actually carrying out CSR activities, as an individual, I think we have lot to contribute out here, especially by supporting them in the medical emergencies as well as continuing their pay. So I always keep telling. So I'll always have those discussions with my mother-in-law. I just imagine if my salary is stopped because I cannot go to office and I need to serve you. So just imagine that situation, and the same is going with the mates who have supported us for years together. So we remain as their employer, and their kind of they can really look at us as their support system who can help in this situation and be with them. So that's, I would say, the social responsibility that individual has to really carry out, because they are solely dependent on us, and when we stop feeding them, it's like the next generation gets impacted. So it's a huge social impact which we can actually control and help with.
Yeah, I totally agree with Anuradha. So similar, measures our company has also taken in, for the government and donating and all of that. Another important aspect, just one point I want to add here is, uh, the treatment of corona virus in hospitals, in government hospitals, is free of cost. But if you don't get a bed, you have to go into a private hospital, and the costs can become very, very high. And with this launch of Corona Kavach policy, etc., it's really not expensive. And I happen to get one for my helper, a cover for an insurance cover for her, basically. So I think these are the small things that you can do, and just to ensure that they are secure in terms of any event also happening. And I did share this information with all the other people also much before, when this Corona Kavach was not there. There were other policies which were there in the beginning of the lockdown, just to make them aware. And all the help with the money can be done, but obviously even for their for their information purposes, there's a lot to share with them how they can be prepared.
Thanks for sharing that, Nimi. Any other one want to add? Anyone? Any panelist has?
Yeah, quick points. Yeah, quick points, right? So, I mean, I was touched upon that med-related area, right? So, I mean, they are not coming. So, we continue to have their salaries. This is more on the personal side. Again, whatever we had, not only extra, but even though it is well sufficient, still we shared with them, right? Because either their spouses are either drivers or doing some jobs, right, which were stopped, right? Some running some small pawn shop or some vada pav shop or something like that. So we continue to do that. We continue to pay them. Second thing is from organization standpoint, we were associated with as a CSR, Satish talked about, and Anuradha as well. So those continued. We had this extra, right? Sharing is caring, right? And also share, the moment you share, it grows, right? So we gave the laptops to the people in Bangalore and in other cities also, where there are online classes, because this means to have a kids, right? They have got also online classes started. So their education is also important, right? So we provided them with the connectivity as well, right? So that's what we did extra from organization perspective. As a personally, if you ask me, uh, me and my better half, my wife, we always decided that okay, even though we get less, because our salaries are not cut down, so even though we get less, we'll keep on sharing about it, right? Sharing is something, we will not cut down the salaries. Whatever we'll do, will perhaps we might compromise ourselves, but let's share that. So that's what the view on this. So humanity stands first, kind of.
Fantastic perspectives and inputs and very influential thoughts, guys. So we have lots of questions, but in interest of time, and we need to close the conversation now, maybe I will post these questions with help of Rohit to the social media. We can get those covered. So just first of all, thank you all the panelists for sharing your wonderful thought processes. And this conversation about improving something is an endless conversation in my personal view. So we really are influenced. We are very, I would say some of these ideas, like can I have Papa for 5 minutes, was the was very interesting input today, Shantanu, and very nicely portrayed actually. And so I really want to thank you all, and thank you Nikki, Anuradha, Satish, and Shantanu, Biren, and also Ajay. Ajay, you want to say something? Please unmute yourself. And really want to thank all the participants and the people behind the scene, Rohit and Prashant and Manju, who are not live actually, but they are there. So there are people behind the scene, those who don't actually come on the front. So over to you, Ajay, if you have anything to say.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. Thank you, panelists. Thank you, Priyank and the ANI team for having us here. And thank you all the people who have joined it today on the Ganpati Festival Day. Thanks a lot for spending your time with us and giving us an opportunity to serve you. Thank you very much. That's all from me.
Thank you, everyone, and hope to see you in the next events. Keep checking.
Thank you.
Agile Network
Thank you.
India.
Thank
Have a good
you.
day.
Stay
Have a good
safe.
day.
Thank you for
Bye.
having us.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.